Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 3 Remastered. This is 115 speaking, and looking out at the remains of an old London taxi, let me welcome you to the toughest level we are about to face so far in TR3, Lud's Gate. My god, I was so terrified of tackling this one, even when I was just conceiving making a Let's Play of TR3 back in 2017. So in today's absolutely enormous level, which feels like two different levels combined, we are gonna get our hands on all 6 secrets, we are gonna get this all 11 crystals, and get our hands on 59 goodies. We pretty much topped up Old Witch's record for the number of pickups. When it comes to the number of kills, it's a little less impressive. We are just gonna land 20 of them, but the way we're gonna land them is gonna be particularly interesting and tied to 2 achievements. Well, pretty much only one. But the first one is Silent World, which asks us to eliminate all divers using UPVs, and the second achievement, Underwater Garage, asking us to find and use all 3 UPVs in the level. What is a UPV? It's an underwater propulsion vehicle, a new vehicle just tied to this level, specifically one that I absolutely love and adore, and I'm gonna talk more about it later. Furthermore, in case you feel a bit icky about using glitches, you are only gonna be able to get your hands on 57 out of 59 goodies, okay? I just thought that's very important to mention. There are essentially 2 rockets you can only pick up if you are willing to sacrifice plethora of other goodies, or if you want to get all 59 non-crystal goodies, there are 2 particular glitches you are going to have to use. Alrighty guys, so I practiced a lot for this one, and I also have a ridiculously short amount of time to do this today, so let's follow the hoodlum over here. Interesting thing, after our little chat with their boss, all these hoodlums are now friendly. Well, I mean, look what they're still doing. Doesn't look particularly friendly if you ask me. But they're friendly to the point where they are neutral, they're not gonna attack you. But there's not gonna be any, you know, barking monastery or high-sec compound scenario where you're gonna have allies fighting enemies, nothing like that. It's just you can choose to kill these guys, you don't have to. Although killing them is a bit questionable unless we use an explosive ordnance like the rocket. So this guy over here showed us a path here, and I think his intentions were good because this is a safe path to continue the level. However, if you follow his advice, you are gonna miss out on the first secret of the level. So, for such a bad advice, we're gonna punish these bad boys. All 3 of them. See, not a problem a bullet couldn't solve according to Lara. Instead, we are gonna take the far more lethal and dangerous left path. By the way, keep in mind this block over here, this is indeed, like Old Witch told us, a pushable and pullable block. We're gonna use it as a way back. Remember, we made a deal with the leader of this gang to deliver an embalming fluid, and we're gonna keep our word. You don't have to do it, which is pretty damn interesting, even narratively. And for now, let's slide here, and once you reach the very end of this slide, turn to the right, and this way you will have avoided touching the spiky ceiling. If you were to fall down and then climb up this wall, you are gonna take some massive damage from those spikes. Lara just isn't fast enough, okay? Alrighty then. Now, using this button, we've essentially opened up a trapdoor over there, allowing us to get back. But first, the reason we came here in the first place, the first secret. We got a large sweeping shot of an absolutely massive area. If you guys are somehow able to overcome the slippery ledge here and not make Lara get impaled on the barbed wire, you will trigger an absolutely enormous level skip. I'm gonna research how and if this is possible at all when I'll be tackling my speedrun for TR3. For the I only play for sport always achievement, but there he is, a scuba diver. You know, I think we're gonna get a better shot of this guy, so I'm not gonna take a picture yet, but we are essentially above that entire area. For now, all I'm interested in is getting our hands on the first secret, and the way we can absolutely achieve that is to walk through the barbed wire. Now you can see a shimmyable ledge to your left. You can also use that to traverse, but I think Lara's walking speed is actually a little bit faster than her shimmying speed, which makes a lot of sense, right? But I guess it's an option for people who, by the time they reach Tomb Raider 3, still haven't learned that, yeah, you can absolutely walk safely through spikes. And the barbed wire serves that function exactly. So that's it, our first secret with a large medpack and flares, and it goes without saying that I want to beat this level without using any medpacks. I've managed to pull it off. It was a little bit challenging, much harder than, for example, Old Witch or Thamesworth, but I managed to pull it off on PS5 and GOG, so I'm absolutely doing it here as well, unless I make a huge blunder, which is always a possibility. And using a slippery slope and an angled jump, we can get back. Remember, we already pushed the button over here to open the trapdoor up here, and now we are essentially gonna find ourselves at a very familiar place with a large medpack. This is essentially the tunnel where the hoodlum was originally leading us. By the way, don't worry about shooting those 3 guys. The deal with their boss is not yet off. And by the signs of it, these guys can weather bullets anyway. Maybe it's just going to take a while for them to regenerate. Anyway, if they are really eager to kill themselves, they just need to get more creative, in my opinion. Okay, now something I probably should have checked with the photo mode beforehand, because I'm really not sure about this. And you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I have just triggered the photo mode, meaning we're gonna have to re-trigger it. But the tricky thing here is, in order to get this rocket, which also constitutes the second secret of the level, we need to make a backflip, but we can't be too high up, or Lara will hit this and end up falling in spikes. And this is very tricky. And I'm kind of trying to just remember what is the upper ledge. You know what? Let's not go any higher than this. Let's make a mid-air roll. Grab. Oh, okay, that worked out pretty nicely. You know, I've done this 2 times yesterday, but I still can't remember what the exact ledge is, but there we have it. There we go, and the rocket is ours. Let me just out of curiosity check. Oh, there are indeed 7 rockets in this level, which is insanely generous. Now, disables the ladder, immediately let go, make a mid-air flip, so you have time to grab this. It's a very short jumping distance, so be very careful. And also, above us up top is yet another spot with a crystal and shotgun shells that I would very much like to reach using a backflip. But, is this sufficient? I'm not sure. Actually, I think we need to get a bit higher. Again, you can check with your photo mode in advance. Oh, thank God, that was just perfect. Awesome. This, by the way, does not count as a secret anymore. Even though it's just as secret as the secret underneath it, but there you have it. Okay, so this awkward part of the level is behind us. Let's just go up. According to the cutscene when we had the chat with the boss of the hoodlums, we need to break into a museum for embalming fluid. So this next part of the level I actually really love and enjoy. It's just such a lovely, blocky, square throwback into Tomb Raider 1. We'll see how we'll be doing. I could have crawl climbed out of that layer, but okay. Let's just be real quick here. And guys, we find ourselves on a sort of a tunnel made out of metal mesh. It's difficult to see like this, so let me again employ photo mode. But what is in this giant room in the British Museum is in fact a giant sphinx. Unfortunately, it's the most hideous sphinx in existence, but we're gonna get a better shot at it later on. Okay, can you pick it up, Miss Croft? Thank you. The problem is we cannot really crawl climb out of this. It's too much of a short drop and an animation doesn't exist for this. It's a bit of a gamey logic. This corridor is patrolled by a guardsman, the same guys we already encountered in Thames Wharf. But we can get here via other means because we passed by a tunnel as we were somersaulting across. And guys, just try and picture how long this would take without the crawl somersaults introduced in TR3 Remastered. It'd be a bit of a nightmare. This medpack I would always miss in the OG version. Look how dark it is. This is insanity. And now, I think the moment we we'll be ambushed by that gentleman over there. So let's maybe align ourselves with our shotgun to this corner and fire. Let's not get shot. Ooh, okay, remember, these guys, upon dying, take those revenge pot shots. This encounter I do not like. Let me grab Uzis for this one. Nice, we didn't get shot. I've never managed to pull it off like this. This is wonderful. Now, where we want to go, and remember we are at the same corridor we've seen the end of via this crawl space over here, is actually over here. An entrance into more of an Egyptian exhibition. However, it's blocked by a large stone block. However, the mechanism to open it is right over here. And you know what? I would really like to just take a picture of these weird gizmos over here. The thing on the left almost reminds me of Iris in Lara's mansion, but let's see. I would just love to take a picture in both the remastered and the original graphics. There we go. Pretty damn interesting stuff. I don't know what they're studying. Perhaps some remnants of Skion maybe, or I don't know, some other Egyptian technology. Actually, in the next game, Tomb Raider 4 Last Revelation, which we'll play the remastered version of this year, you will see that the Egyptians were pretty damn advanced in Tomb Raider universe. I'm talking laser technology advanced. So this could be something similar. A pyramid-shaped artifact kept under a close watch by the local guards. Pretty damn interesting stuff. I'd like to think that real-world museums hide secrets like that. Oh boy, so this one. Our objective is essentially to get all the way to the top, open a door over here, and enter a chamber with embalming fluid, okay? That's essentially the gist of it. However, there are 2 levers and another block-pushing mechanism, and a couple of goodies that we will all need to engage with to navigate this successfully and explore it thoroughly, okay? What I'm thinking is maybe our first order of business should be entering the tunnel over here, and I'm gonna push another block onto its space. That's the best way to go about this. Look at all these hieroglyphics. To be honest, these look excellent even in the OGs, and I mean specifically the PC version with much smoother textures that weren't as heavily pixelated. And that sound means we triggered the mechanism successfully. Now we will have essentially changed the layout of the room somewhat, and this is a point where I'm a bit confused as to what the planned or suggested solution to this puzzle room was by the OG devs, because my solution I don't think aligns with the original vision, but that's just my theory, maybe it absolutely does. For example, I don't think we're supposed to make a jump quite like this, but there we are. And now we will be able to reach, don't hit Lara's head over there, that's why I'm grabbing, the switch over here. Now these things I find particularly interesting. You know what, Lara? I would actually like to ask you to move out of the way, because I want to take a picture of this as well, along with the hieroglyphics. Or maybe do it in a corner piece like this. Yeah. Just wanting to compare how they look, and this kind of Egyptian mask head will be attached to a key item, part of the embalming fluid container we are gonna get our hands on, but later about that. We have essentially closed the entrance to the tunnel with a pushable block, which is fine, because we don't need to use the tunnel for anything ever again. And closing it, the door also doubles as a bit of a ladder, which is phenomenal. I love this. So now we are, in essence, gonna get to the top floor, and we'll be able to reach the rest of the goodies and yet another Egyptian switch like this, which will finally open up the door at the very top to the embalming fluid room with sarcophagi, which is gonna be pretty interesting stuff. We get a preview of it. So what I like to do here, because of the low ceiling, I think running jump should just about do it. Wonderful. And again, running through corners like this is a bit risky, but I think I've mastered it at this point. Okay, flares and shotgun shells over here. Okay, and now I want to show you something that's not really necessary, but you see, the door to the embalming room is essentially closed. So you could look at it as in we screwed ourselves, but just drop like this, sort of holding the action key and releasing the control at the very final time, and you end up on this platform. There's something I wanted to show you in regards to this platform, and I'm not sure I'm gonna commit to going all the way in, because there is a tunnel over here which, okay, triggers the Tomb Raider theme, and this entire tunnel serves as a way back into the corridor that was originally patrolled by the guard where we picked up the shotgun shells. And this will allow you to again come back to this room and move this block out of the way to sort of reset the puzzle room, okay? So just keep in mind that you have this option. However, we don't need to do it. I have a much better idea in my mind, okay? But before changing the layout of the room again, I just really wanted to show you. Let's see if we can drop here safely. Wonderful. There is some unfinished business we have in the middle level over here. And hopefully, guys, I mean, you can let me know, but this, I'm hoping, isn't too confusing. Let's see if we can grab it. There we go. Again, very awkward navigation. On the left over here, we are gonna get our hands on a crystal, which is wonderful, especially in the OG PC version, you know, restoring your health by small medbag equivalent. By the way, you cannot re-grab the ceiling over here. You unfortunately, after picking up the crystal, have to drop again, ideally the safest way possible, and again re-grab the monkey's wings to get to the other side, where there's the second Egyptian switch. This will actually open up the door into the embalming room, okay? Yeah, this one is a place where as a kid I always used to get stuck. But hey, London Chapter, despite being in my opinion the hardest, is the only one we've beaten as kids with my brother without using any guide or online walkthrough. Don't ask me how. It seems impossible. But in Crash Site, we would always get stuck. And also... Oh, there we go. Also in the Nevada levels. Now, where we need to go now that we open the door to the embalming fluid room, well, you know the gist, guys. We need to go up. So let's use this one. And can we... Oh no, we need to grab the ladder. Sorry, I thought we could do it without using it, but alas, I was a bit cheeky there. Anywho, good thing is no falling damage. So let's go up again. Oh, sorry, correction, guys. My memory is a bit unreliable. We never managed to beat the entire London chapter because we would always get stuck in the finale, the next level called City, which is just a boss fight level, which, by the way, is already out today. So you guys can sort of go and check it out immediately after. Didn't want you to wait, you know, a couple of days before we wrap up the London chapter of the game. But that's where we would get stuck. But what I'm trying to say is we would manage to beat Thames Wharf, Old Witch and Lots Gate somehow, and again that just impresses me to no end. Okay, now you can either slide and make a really well-timed jump, or if you want to have a bit of certainty in your Tomb Raiding life, grab this, climb up and already start holding the jump key with a mid-air roll and grab. That's it. This is kind of, this way you can avoid making any timing jumps altogether and works reliably well. And we just got into very interesting rooms. So a couple of things, guys. If you fall down this funnel, you will take a massive shortcut through the level, and if you're lucky enough, you'll end up landing on this side, not that one, pick up a rocket and continue. This rocket was, for me, up to very recently considered an unobtainable object, because via picking this path through the level and not fulfilling the deal with the boss of the hoodlums and delivering the embalming fluid to them, you are going to make a massive skip and miss out on lots of secrets and goodies, okay? But I'm going to show you a way later on to retrace our steps back to that rocket. Okay, there we go. Very simple sequence of jumps. By the way, something interesting, the corner breakaway tile that we just jumped from to grab the ledge here somehow triggers Lara's sliding animation because it's on top of a slippery slope. It shouldn't, but it does. So all you need to do is just hold the jump key and Lara will automatically jump here. You don't even need to press forward. Just thought that's an interesting bit of detail. And there we go, we got our hands on the embalming fluid. And again, it has the Egyptian switch head applied to the top of it. To be fair, that was exactly the case also in the original, right? It's pretty damn interesting, so we got it. Now, on the sides over here are two sarcophagi, and this is where I think the remasters have really messed up. Because the leader of the hoodlums was mentioning some Egyptian lass who didn't get the immortality the way she wanted, and is pretty pissed off about it. And these sarcophagi on each side are female, so maybe it's two Egyptian lasses or just one is empty and one of them has it. This is some Egyptian lass, maybe even Isis herself, although that was a goddess, so I'm not really sure. Maybe just an Egyptian woman who used the Eye of Isis, just like Sophia Lee does, to experiment with immortality. And apparently she's kind of still alive as a mummy, but this was never really elaborated further. Whereas the remasters have just added these more masculine, generic-like sarcophagi on the sides that we've seen also across Tomb Raider 1's City of Khamun and Obelisk of Khamun, that sort of thing. But according to the narrative, female ones make so much more sense, right? So again, better detail on the remastered sarcophagi, it's just, it's not the correct kind of detail, and I think they really messed up here. But yeah, this is never explained further. I don't know what that hoodlum was talking about. Maybe it's all made up. Maybe he's just being superstitious. Tough to say. And let's just take care of that fellow over here. Now, I have no idea how we didn't get shot, but I'm sure as glad we didn't. But yeah, since I saw those Uzi clips being put there, I thought, okay, let's just use them. Now, this guy was guarding a corridor over here. And in between these two doors, we see yet another rocket. This level is just chock full of rockets that will come very handy in Antarctica. But to reach it, we'll need to again enter a ventilation duct. At least I assume it's what these are there for. And you know, all video games and movies would like to convince us that there are human-sized ventilation ducts for people to enter into. Around the corner is another guard. Now, we can get Aussies out, but Lara will not aim. But this is where somersault will come in handy. But you can only somersault with your weapons being put away. But the moment the somersault animation starts, press the holster key to get them out. Oh my god. Now that was a bit difficult to get behind him, but hey. Considering how much health we conserved with the previous guards, this is fine. Using the button over here, we can re-access the corridor with a rocket, but there's no reason to ever backtrack or anything like that. And now this looks like a pushable block, part of the Egyptian block puzzle, but no, we can just go around it and go down. That's essentially it. And this, yeah, if you're afraid of heights, is gonna make you a bit queasy. We need to monkey swing across for that crystal and then drop on top of a giant sphinx head. A nice throwback to my probably most disliked level of Tomb Raider 1, the Sanctuary of the Scion. God, I hate that level so much. Anywho, nice sweeping shot, just to give us the impression of in how much danger we are in. Lara will automatically let go here and somehow end up dropping on the ledge underneath it. I do not know why the physics work like this, but I'm very glad they do. Normally we would see, you know, monkey swingable grid above this platform. That's not the case here. Now, in order for us to progress, we want to land here at the highest point so as not to take any falling damage. So just remember, when you'll be monkey swinging, you'll have this brown texture next to you. Make it to the second final square of the brown texture and to this side of the wall and drop. And that's going to minimize falling damage up to the point of even negating falling damage altogether. Okay, this should be it. Wonderful. Absolutely awesome. If you step here, you'll get a sweeping shot of the world's most hideous, disgusting, ugly sphinx. Look at this Frankenstein of a monster. It almost looks like it has patched up wire eyes and mouth. This is... After what the remasters pulled off in the City of Kamoon and Sanctuary of Scion, you know, placing and sort of reworking the unique sphinx textures there on their faces. Heck, they even gave us a winking sphinx face in the Unfinished Business Return to Egypt level, the expansion to Tomb Raider 1. I was hoping they would pull off something like here, but they probably didn't because they did want to maintain the geometry of the face, including the nose and its brow, where there's a rocket. And this, my friends, is a rocket that's part of the rocket science achievement that asks us to find 2 hidden rockets, which is the worst achievement description out of the entire list for this trilogy. But there you go. So how are you supposed to know that this, out of all the 7 rockets in Lutzgate level, is precisely the one you need to pick up? I have no bloody idea. But the gist is, if you do decide to pick up this rocket, according to the original Core Era developer's design, you will miss out on a small medpack over here, and you will also sacrifice another secret with 2 rockets and crystals. So originally it was recommended to not even bother, but we need it for achievement, and also I just want to show you how to get all the goodies. By the way, one thing I truly appreciate, I never realized this is supposed to be a glass ceiling to the outside. Did you guys? I had no idea what it is, but that was the last thing that would have occurred to me. And now in the remasters, we see the rest of the brick geometry, a little peek outside. We can even see the moon shining into this room. Furthermore, really cool detail, the original had windows, but they were completely dark, and now we see outside geometry, the same skybox as in Thames Wharf level, which makes perfect sense, and other buildings surrounding the museum, even side warehouses and buildings belonging to the museum. This isn't all that important, but it makes such a difference for the geometrical level. It's very immersive, you know. I really feel like we are sneaking into a museum at night. This does so much for the enjoyment of the level. Now, a simple trick, again, make sure to run forward, roll, then start holding the action key, but release it at the very final second. This way you'll end up on the ledge underneath without taking any falling damage. Again, this is the trick I think I showed you guys for the first time in one of the Atlantean levels in the Unfinished Business expansion. But we are gonna keep making use of it in TR3, and if you'll forgive me, I will save here because we've made quite a lot of progress and continuing is not all that easy. Okay, so in order for us to get down safely, this is a bit tricky. Try to land on the side of the Sphinx here, grab this, but as you notice, you cannot shimmy. release and immediately repress the action key, and Lara will finally unglitch herself so that you can shimmy, and this is important because right is where we want to go, and land on this semi-slippery tile and land safely without taking any falling damage. Furthermore, remember, and by the way, this pit is completely empty, but it absolutely reminds me of the Sanctuary of the Scion now. A really nice throwback. In order for you to get your hands on the small medbag over here, which was the alternate path down from the Sphinx head, negating the rocket, which, by the way, means we are now halfway through the rocket science achievement, but don't worry, in 2 levels time we are going to unlock it completely. In order for us to get the small medbag and the secret over there, we are going to have to employ the art of corner glitching. Since we had to do this back in Palace Midas, and also an achievement asked us to do this, I don't really feel dirty about this at all. However, the second glitch I'm going to employ in this level, you might feel very differently about. Okay, we should be able to do this without a grabbing jump. Awesome. And now to get back onto that column, make sure to go to the rightmost spot here, but do not make a running jump, because Lara will end up overjumping and you'll take falling damage. Pressing action at the very last second helps reach this column a bit further, and now we are going to use this. And you know what? I'd love to swan dive. I don't know why. Instead of the penultimate tile on this ledge over here will trigger the secret. Okay, and we get the crystal to boot. Absolutely wonderful. So there's not a single rocket we are leaving unattended. And in case you guys have been around in my original 2017 Let's Play, you know that I gave up on the rocket next to the embalming fluid. That's not going to be the case here, because I have discovered a new glitch. Okay. Ever since. Is this the correct one? Oh, almost. Okay, the texture's outlined a wee bit differently than I would have expected. But again, let's use the same trick. There we go. You will take absolutely minimal, barely visible falling damage, which is a better alternative than just making it to the slippery slope from up there. Okay. And now, I'd like to show you something. This part of the corridor is supposed to be patrolled by a guard, but this guard is very tricky to spawn, and I only ever manage to do it if I slide down here. And now, oh, I can see him peering out of there already, so you need to climb this hand, slide down here, and only then will the guard spawn. Who thought this is a good spot? Why? Okay, but the range is so massive that he didn't even manage to land any revenge pot shots at us, and also that guard drops absolutely nothing. There is a different one patrolling around the corner that absolutely does drop something. And by the way, again, I'm just reminded of the Sanctuary of the Scion, but this is a fake out. We're in a museum, not an actual tomb or anything like that, okay? Still pretty damn cool. Let's wait around the corner over here. That guard should eventually patrol all the way up here. But you know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. Let's stay here, and maybe we'll get to surprise him from the... Oh, wow. Okay, and he took a revenge pot shot at us, that bastard. Okay, well, didn't realize his patrol routine actually goes all the way across this place. Maybe it doesn't, maybe he would have turned, I don't know. Anywho, I thought he's just assigned to the corridor. Wanted to shoot him in the back first. Anywho, shotgun shells for shotgun trouble, and that's the guard that dropped the medpack that we just picked up a while ago, which is awesome. And now guys, since we have the embalming fluid, we are soon going to loop back into the beginning of the level, next to the hoodlum's hideout, but don't worry, even despite the fact that we mowed down with bullets 3 of them, we can still complete the quest via rather odd means. But first and foremost, the 4th secret. In this kind of difficult, very difficult to see crawl space in the original, it's again made somewhat easier using the remasters, which I appreciate. Unfortunately, it skips the vertigo music, yeah, because the secret chime is considered a musical file. In the original, to get out of the secret, you would have to take falling damage, which was absolutely infuriating, but here, using the forward, exiting from crawl spaces, you will negate any falling damage whatsoever. Okay. Now this block puzzle I actually really like and appreciate. So, this looks very reminiscent to the block I showed you at the beginning in the damned hoodlum's hideout. That's because, well, it's not the same block. Oh my god, camera's present there. But it's attached right next to it. And we're gonna have to use a tunnel up top to loop back, push this even more to the right, and create a corridor so that we'll have sufficient space to maneuver the one that's actually attached to the damned hideout, okay? Hope that makes sense. But again, it's the similar kind of navigational puzzle like in Aldwych above the ticket booth, and I love puzzles like these, where we just put things out of context, refit them somewhere else, that sort of thing. Okay, Lara, can you grab this pixel perfectly? Thank you. Yeah, I got really good at aligning her. Again, sidestepping is the way to go there. Let us drop, and there we go. This is the block I was talking about, attached to the hoodlum's hideout. But for that, let's just push this one even deeper. And this way, we should be able to pull it back twice. Because if you just leave it on this square, this will block your sort of entry point from above, which we'll have to retake. You just need to push it back one more time, and the path to the damned hideout is now clear. Does this look familiar? Okay. Now, one thing I struggle with in this level is just to maintain and commit to my memory the sheer vast number of pickups and where all of them are. There's nothing that's going to make me more depressed than us, even unlocking the achievements, reaching the very end, and missing one pickup. But I think we should be able to backtrack through the entire level using a glitch. I want to backtrack to the missable rocket I have in mind. We'll see. Okay, so again, retaking this tunnel. We're gonna find ourselves above. And now the path to the damned hideout is clear. If you didn't kill those 3 guys, they'll still be hanging around here. You'll have another chance to mow them down to increase your kill count if you're as bloodthirsty as me. And now you might be wondering, okay, the leader of the hoodlums is in here. You would expect, oh, a cutscene. If we have the embalming fluid in our inventory is gonna trigger something like that. No, this is what's really stupid. You're supposed to put it here. Yeah, this climbable block. And I don't mean putting it on the ground. No, you're supposed to get up to a climbable block and press the action key to summon up your inventory. And again, this is where action indicators really come in to help. If you're a new time player or just haven't played these games in ages, I can't recommend action indicators enough. But since I'm experienced and I want to have an immersive interface, I have them toggled off. That's it. And this way we help them and the path forward opened. If we wouldn't have helped them and took the rocket shortcut, that's fine, there are no repercussions for that. You would just miss out on goodies and secrets, okay? Which, I mean, to be fair, for me, those are huge repercussions. So this is a path to Sapphire Lake that the leader of these hoodlums promised. It's a trapdoor, and it's gonna take us down, and honestly, despite being incredibly dangerous, he is true to his word. Actually, I didn't need to use the flare here. Lara will drop it. And guys, let me introduce you to underwater propulsion vehicle. I don't really need to go over explaining the controls in big detail. Use the same swimming controls, but you can fire. You can fire the same harpoons, which is why we see 34 of. See, it corresponds. But they pack more punch, and my accuracy is absolutely atrocious. Another good thing is, crocodiles will not bite Lara while she's on this vehicle, which I think is a bug, but hey, still pretty damn awesome. Now, I wasted lots and lots of harpoons. I'm not happy about that at all. Good thing is, there's an air pocket in this tunnel over here, and together we're gonna explore, well, that's a nice boob shot, all the tunnels around Lara. So, first things first. Lara, please don't hit me for that comment. Let us just get our hands on Uzi clips over here. That's all there is to it. And again, I'm doing all this from memory, but thankfully it's not as dark as it was in the original version, so that helps a little. And don't worry, no further crocodiles will appear whilst you're picking these side tunnels up. For that, we need to go a bit deeper. And a large medpack. Thank God the flare dropping animation didn't start yet, because you know what, I feel like this is a wee bit risky, but let's see if we can get these and still make it to the air pocket. By the way, do not try to return to the original air pocket where we dropped from the damned hideout. There's a strong current that will prevent you from going there, okay? So just want to make that clear. And okay, I might have gotten a little bit cocky, or shall we just about make it? Whew. That's what we call, in the tomb raiding business, a close call. Okay, awesome. So we got all the goodies from these side tunnels, including a crystal. Let's just keep moving further. What I find really cute, however, and by the way, you mount the UPV using action key, you dismount from it using the roll key. Okay, you don't choose a direction like with other vehicles, it's always going to be to the back, just want to make that clear. But anywho, let's just keep going further. There we go. And the moment we pick up the harpoons over on this pedestal, we will trigger the appearance of another crocodile. Lara, grab it. Thank God, now we have immunity from these mofos. Okay, I think one more harpoon should do it. Okay, a bit of a delayed death animation, but hey, it worked. Now, there's a small medbag over here. Make sure to do a full stop before you start the pickup animation, because Lara can glitch out into the corner over there. And you know what? I'm not gonna be cocky. I'm just gonna go for a rebreather again. And yeah, I'm starting to realize that was a very smart choice. I appreciate how much brighter these tunnels are. In the original, it was a nightmare to do anything without the flares. However, what the originals perhaps did a bit better as a result was it made me appreciate the fact that the underwater propulsion vehicle over here casts light at dark areas as well. That light is not just for show. See how it illuminates everything? I just think that's pretty cool. But anyhow, let's dismount again and get our hands on, I think, harpoon bundle over here, and that should be it for this entire underwater cavern. I love this string of light bulbs over here. It was also here in the original, but it's just much better looking now. And I'm not sure if this shortcut to Miss Sophia was made by the hoodlums or someone else, but we are now gonna reach a place where she will be closely guarded. Now, what I can't recommend enough, guys, is to, even before you get onto this ledge, to please save your game, because you are gonna enter a stealth section, kind of like in the high security compound, but the game does a very poor job of telegraphing what's your objective. You can also trigger a bug which will block a corridor prematurely upon reload, and you will never be able to continue the game. Okay, so make sure to save the game here. And sorry, I'm gonna take just a bit of my morning coffee. And I'm gonna be a cocky bastard. I'm not gonna do that, because I practiced this to death. I would like to make save a bit later on. I'm gonna show you a particular sequence of actions for you to do in case you are interested in not just the 5th, but also the 6th final secret. By the way, the tunnel underneath us serves as a way back from the rocket shortcut if we wouldn't pick up the embalming fluid, okay? This is a strong current that will take us there anywhere. And this thing right here goes all the way up to the embalming fluid room, and eventually you will see the rocket that we have yet to pick up. And we are essentially going to use the underwater propulsion vehicle to fly through the air and reach this area. Does that make sense? I hope not, because it absolutely shouldn't. Furthermore, we do get a sneak peek of the final 6th secret area, which has another underwater propulsion vehicle, which is very important to interact with for the underwater garage achievement, okay? Okay, so we opened up a trapdoor, but not to where you might think. This gets us into control room, and we already took a look at him, but this time we are gonna get another glimpse of the diver, the new enemy type, and you know what? There's Lara, there's a guardsman, there's a diver. This is gonna serve as another picture to our photo album. Oh, they had these yellow details in the original that they're missing now. Why is that? They looked way better. And I'm thinking maybe these same divers will be used in the Lost Artifact expansion as part of the Sophia Lay Incorporated, but later about that, we'll see. I guess this cutscene was supposed to tell you, watch out for the enemies, because they're on the lookout and this is a stealth section. If so, the original devs have done a really poor job of explaining that, but that's what I'm here for. Okay, so let's get into the water over here. And this tunnel right here is the reason I told you to save before even crossing that threshold, because upon reload, you might find this entire area blocked by an invisible barrier and you not being able to continue, okay? So be very careful. Now, we don't want the diver or the guard to notice us, so keep as low as possible. And let's enter the 5th secret over here. Now, whether they notice us or not, the 5th secret is always going to be accessible, so that's not a concern. The concern is the 6th secret, which, if they're going to be alerted, is going to become inaccessible. And it's also going to invalidate our underwater garage achievement and of course Codex of England and all that stuff, okay? So we absolutely cannot let that happen. Now there's an underwater lever here in this corridor. And this will open a trapdoor, which isn't mandatory, but will allow us to sneak past the diver and the guard a bit later on. Oh boy, I took a risk here. Let's see if I can maintain the course without being discovered. Oh, please. Oh my God, that was close. Okay, Lara, backflip, please. Now, despite the fact there's a very observant diver over there, he's a bit deaf, even though his eyesight is good. And you can actually pick up the harpoons over here behind him, which I find pretty damn fun. You can also do it later. You don't have to fool around with shenanigans like these. But I just find that really entertaining. Okay. And now, very important thing. As you're hanging onto this ledge, press the crawl button and remain in a crawl. This way, you'll end up behind cover, okay? This is absolutely crucial to not being spotted. And we've opened up a trapdoor which leads into an underwater tunnel with a crystal. How nice is that? Let's keep going. Unfortunately, from water you cannot crawl climb, but thankfully the height here is still good. So you can enter a crouch, then an absolute prone crawl, and go around like this. And this way you will avoid becoming detected up to a certain point, but this is fine. Now, when I cut the corner over here, I believe it's already safe to stand up. Let's keep going. And I'd love to get rid of all the enemies in this place before I'm gonna even show you where the rest of the goodies are, and there's plenty, my god. But you know what? No, let's first enter also this crawl space over here, which is completely safe from enemy sight. This should just have flares and a crystal, but we're using flares like crazy in the London levels. So I absolutely appreciate them. Actually, how many do we have at this point? Oh my god, okay, we're set for life. It's fine, it's fine. And now, it doesn't really matter, use whatever weapon you want, but the moment you cross this threshold over here, you're gonna be ambushed by a guard that's gonna appear here. The thing is, he's gonna sound an alarm just via spotting you, but for some reason, being discovered all the way here will not cause secret number 6 to close up, okay? If you were discovered anywhere else in this area, you would get a kind of a cool shot of the diver jumping into the water and pretty much locking up the 6th secret. But somehow being discovered here, it's not a problem. I don't know why. Okay, wanted to avoid a revenge shot. I guess it kind of semi-worked. Huh, oh well. Okay, and now what I like to do, this is gonna lead to a slippery slope. Make sure not to kill the diver with your guns, because that will invalidate the Silent World achievement, okay? So let's pick up the key over here. Let's leave the diver to hang around there. We can now focus on pickups. He can still shoot at you using his harpoon gun. But yeah, and by the way, if you haven't done so already, make sure to pick up the harpoons over there that were behind him. Now, what we pick up from the dead guard, and this is incredibly easy to miss, especially in the OG graphics, is a boiler room key. And this is really vicious, because you'll realize that you need this key at the very end of the level, which is still some distance away from us. So it's a key you're gonna use at the very end, and that's vicious, to find yourself in that situation with a missing key. Okay. Then, on the other side, behind the crates over here, I think there should be... Ah, a large medpack. Okay, awesome. And we still want a small medpack and another bundle of harpoons. Okay, so... Oh, what? Why, Lara? It's okay. We can climb up right over here. And I think even backflip. Wonderful. And I would like to make it to those steel blocks over there, which, by the way, have the same metro sign as the crates in Aldwych for whatever reason. That's a bit strange. And now you can enter the crawl space over here. And there's a gap with small medpack. Now I have a strong suspicion you can pick this one up, even without being discovered first. But I didn't want to risk it since we're doing so well. And let's go around like this. And on the ledge up here, in this sort of upper warehouse area, is the final pickup, a bundle of harpoons. This level has such a ridiculous amount of pickups. And one cool thing I want to show you, remember, we were here trying to access the first secret of the level at the very beginning, not following the hoodlum's direction. This is the barbed wire supposed to prevent you from making such a massive level skip. So you would end up skipping the entire museum part of the level if you were successful, okay? And you know what? I think we're aiming for the water, so let's do a swan dive. Wonderful. That would be really stupid if we broke Lara's neck at this stage in the level. But also pretty damn funny. So there's that. There's always a trade-off. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly where the diver's hanging around. Oh, there. He still is. Okay, I want to avoid his really good accuracy and rate of fire. And guys, for the Silent World achievement, make sure to pick up the UPV and fire harpoons with it, rather than from your harpoon gun. They also, every individual harpoon, as a result, packs more punch and is more powerful. My god, where is that idiot? Is he swimming away? I don't see him at all. Please don't tell me he bugged out. Because oh, there he is, thank god, because I could hear him, just not see him. Thank god. If you manage to hit him with 2 harpoons, that's all it takes. Now, let's park the vehicle right over here against this wall. Let's let go. And I'm gonna get our hands on all these sorts of goodies. There we go. We still have the breath for that. So much harpoon gun ammunition. You know what? It's really only gonna be useful in this level, then no further level ever again. We don't need to bother with them. But I'm always happy to have an ample supply, you know what I mean? And also, we found all secrets of Lutz Gate. How awesome is that? So, before we continue into sort of the penultimate area of the level, yeah, this level is far from over, I would like to explain a glitch that I'm gonna use to get to the rocket in the embalming fluid room, okay? And I don't know if I should save before or after doing that. That's the one and only thing I'm not sure about. You know what? I think I should save before, but let me explain something first. Via grabbing the UPV, you will see that your oxygen bar is disappearing. You can also make it to the surface, and Lara is above surface and she's now breathing normally. But if you make it again under the surface, her oxygen bar will start depleting. Notice when you dismount the UPV, how Lara's oxygen bar remains stuck in place. See? For a second and a half, it wasn't decreasing. And this is the true nature of the bug we're gonna take an advantage of, because the dismount animation from the UPV takes a while, it freezes your oxygen bar, and during that animation the game is convinced that Lara is still underwater. However, what you can do, if you're lined up against the wall, you can press the roll key to essentially dismount the UPV, but before the animation ends, quickly re-grab the UPV and turn it into swimming animation via pressing the jump key, or the swim key in this case. And I want to show that to you in the practice. And I'm gonna make a save here, because, you know, in the world of glitches, everything's a little bit unpredictable. Now I would like to show that to you in practice. Let's use the action key to grab the UPV. Now let's keep tapping the jump key as we're up against the wall to make Lara do this kind of frame. During one of these frames, start holding the roll key, then release it and immediately transition into swimming with the jump key. So roll key and swimming. Oh god, that didn't work. Okay, let me just try it again. So I'm tapping the jump key, I press the roll key, and I've transitioned into swimming. This took some practice, but now the game thinks both that you're dismounting the UPV, so your oxygen bar is frozen, but it also thinks you're underwater, whereas in fact you can fly across the entire level wherever you want, even to the very level beginning, okay? And this is the only way I know of to get to the rocket underneath the embalming fluid room, whilst not, you know, pretty much skipping on the rest of the content with the museum and that sort of thing. So this way, and Lara is very eager to get stuck in all corners, but just try tilting her to the sides to give this almost like spiral-like movement. Now guys, this was the easy part. The difficult part is getting back, because if you just let go of your UPV here and you drop down into the water, let me show that to you, you will find that the access into the entire area, and this is the corridor we swam next to as we originally entered this entire stealth section, you will find that the corridor into this area that we opened up via these two doors is now fully closed, and that's because the alarm sounded, okay? So there's no going back via conventional means. Now, Let's see if I can press the roll key to let go here. Awesome. Let's pick up the rocket. And now we need to remount this damn thing. And what helps me is essentially to keep not holding, but hammering the action key. Oh, there, it worked. Now this can take a lot of time. By the way, noticed how our oxygen bar was not frozen, and the game realized that we're on solid surface, so it immediately teleported us to the next closest body of water. Okay? Now what we need to do here is again trigger the same glitch to fly up, because down we don't want to go through that current, because we'll end up trapped, not being able to continue the level. First of all, in this tight tunnel, you need to find a space where you can dismount the UPV. Okay, this seems to be a good angle, so let's grab it. Oh, I wish I could see something. Okay. Okay. And we transitioned from the dismount animation into a swim. And this way, we can fly out of here and essentially back into the area with the 6th and final secret and where we need to continue the level. You can also, by the way, take advantage of this and continue down into the underwater section with your oxygen bar not depleting, but that would feel a bit too cheap and I don't really want to take advantage of that. So the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna submerge this UPV into water, like this, let go of it, and now we're back to normal with our oxygen bar decreasing. Okay, guys? So again, it's really up to you if mastering a glitch like this and honestly mounting the UPV back on solid surface is even more difficult than triggering the glitch, if this is worth the extra rocket. But this is essentially a trick I learned recently watching speedrunners like Footy and the rest. To be honest, whenever I watch speedrunners, they are so good at these games that they don't really tend to explain things very well, at least not to us mere mortals. Hopefully my explanation will allow you guys to reproduce it, but if not, feel free to drop me a comment and I'll try to do a better job of describing this, okay? Now let's just grab it, and without any glitches or anything like that, with a decreasing oxygen bar, let's dive into what I think is possibly the scariest part of the level. It's an underwater maze filled with these bastards. By the way, very important thing, we are getting closer to that Silent World achievement. There is a hint, there's a... Uh-oh, it seems that my microphone tends to be disconnecting automatically. That's not very good. I'm gonna get to have a replacement cable, and my recording stopped as a result. Thank you, Bandicam, for even notifying me. My goodness. But anyway, as I was saying, there is a hint of a lever across this side of the grate over here. Something that was really impossible to see through the pixelated graphics of the original, and this is a very excellent hint, as this is the entry corridor into a large underwater maze. But also, let's deal with the crocodile that's here, even though whilst we're grabbing onto UPVs, they really aren't a big threat. Oh, come on. So much blood. How are you still alive? Gosh darn it. Okay, let's go. Let go of the UPV. Let us grab the crystal over on this side. Okay, bit difficult through these angles. And there's also a large med pack I wanted to pick up. Let's see if I can do it. You, of course, goes without saying, cannot really pick up goodies with the UPV. You can only fire harpoons, right? Okay, we are really running out of breath. But there's an air pocket nearby. Can we make it? No, I can't remember. Is it down there or up? Oh, no, it's up. Oh, shoot. That's even more further away. Okay, let's go, 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 go. Miss Croft, Miss Croft, Miss Croft. Okay, guys, don't do what I did. First go to the air pocket, then pick up the crystal and the large medpack, but at least take care of the diver and the crocodile, okay? So where we find ourselves in is a giant underwater maze with these, I don't know how to put it, diamond-like shaped entrances. Some of them are dead ends, some of them contain the crystal and the large medpack like I showed you. Now that we got the goodies out of the way, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the sequence to continue, and it all starts over here, the same corridor where we got the sneak peek of the lever when we entered into the maze, okay? So that's where we want to go, and this underwater air pocket is going to be our base of operations, so to speak. So let's go to the bottom floor, the green. Also, the colors are invaluable for orienting yourself around. They're going to be green corridors, red corridors, blue corridors, okay? If you are colorblind, then unfortunately you have to just remember their position. But this is a hint for those of us who can see colors that a green corridor elsewhere has just become accessible. So let me just go back to the air pocket. And by the way, photo mode is an invaluable tool over here because you can absolutely scout ahead and confirm where is it that you are even trying to get, okay? So I'm gonna wait for Lara's breath to refill. There we go. By the way, in case you're wondering why are the ancient Roman ruins everywhere, it's kind of the same gist like I explained back in Thames Wharf level. The sort of architecture built by Romans during the occupation of British islands, on top of which London City was built. And now we want to go to the green corridor that's above the entrance into this large maze, okay? So let's do that. And this is gonna be quite the challenge, because I also want to pick up a small medpack, so we need to dismount from the UPV anyway and go into this tight tunnel. I recommend dismounting the UPV up there because it's very easy to get stuck. Oh my god, Lara, why weren't you picking up? Okay, let's take care of the lever, and on our way back, the small medpack. Okay, a red corridor has now become accessible. Let's remember that color. And now let's swim up, grab the UPV, and hopefully the speed of the UPV will allow us to make it back to the air pocket with all haste. Oh, this is not good, especially the tight corners. Lara can easily get stuck. Okay, and the air pocket is here if I'm not mistaken. Usually I'm not. Ooh, that was a close call. I really feel like I should save, but I don't know, I'm just a cocky bastard. Okay, now we need to figure out where that red corridor is. I think I know where. Alrighty, just up ahead. Wonderful. This is where we open the door to. There's gonna be another lever. Oh, a crystal is a bit of a bonus. That's really nice. Let's let go of UPV. Again, you cannot even press lever whilst touching that thing, of course. Okay. And another blue corridor just became accessible. Now be very careful. You'll be shot at the moment you re-enter back here. Okay, one diver down, and I think around the corner there should be another diver over here, and we should unlock the Silent World achievement. There we go, use UPV harpoons to defeat the scuba divers. Awesome! So really, it kind of comes naturally for all the divers, but the one guarding the secret number 6 with the UPV we are currently using, right? That's really the only one where it might seem more intuitive to use your guns to finish him off. Don't. Make sure to access the secret, get the UPV, and kill him first, okay? And now, let's continue into the bluish corridor we made accessible. And that's right on this side, where actually the second diver was coming from. That was a bit of a hint. A trapdoor has opened up here. Please, Lara, don't get stuck. And now, all we gotta do is go up. In case you want to avoid getting stuck in corners and things like that, make sure to keep spinning in a spiral-like movement. This will enable you to continuously keep going up. This is not as important here because we have lots of oxygen, but later on we're gonna go through similar corridor and that's where it's gonna be very important. By the way, fun fact, you can absolutely trigger the flying UPV glitch here as well and fly to the level exit from here. Something I'm probably gonna make advantage of during our timed run of the game. Okay. So, a couple of burners here, but this is the lamest trap ever because you can essentially just switch them off. It's no biggie. And I think we almost broke Lara's neck. Anywho, that didn't happen, so that's good. Let's pick up the harpoons over here. And the underwater lever over here will shut off all the burners, so we will be able to navigate safely. You know, given our experience from Bartoli's hideout in Tomb Raider 2, you'd think that these burners are switched off on a timer or something like that, but that's actually not the case. You can immediately just take your time, which is very forgiving. Given this is Tomb Raider 3, it's so uncharacteristic. By the way, non-slippery ledges over here with a couple of goodies. A large medpack and Uzi clips. Now that we're using Uzis actually, because we finally found them, I'm very happy to see these. And we are gonna approach a place where I'm finally gonna make a save, because this trap, for me at least, is a bit unpredictable. Okay, let's do it right here and right now. I think we've earned it. Okay. Now, thankfully, these aren't as fast, so give yourself some leeway. The important thing is to think about the hitboxes as full squares, okay? So no part of this square, despite the shadow making you think otherwise, is safe for these. And it's a bit easier to navigate in the OG graphics, because you see the borders of the individual squares it's comprised of. Okay. This is really interesting. So we need to enter on the left using that crawl space via letting go of the monkey swings over here. But going around first like this, we are actually gonna get a preview of the level exit. But this is entirely optional, you don't need to go there. But for your speed run, if you don't mind triggering the flying UPV glitch, this is where you want to fly through, sort of this corridor overlooking the burners we shut off, and fly into an elevator shaft. How cool is that? We're gonna get even higher in it, is the thing. And I believe this is what leads into the level exit, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that is right above us is the level exit entrance, the red light. So we need to go higher. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a fake out. You cannot really access the corridor over here or anything like that. Just turn back. This isn't the way, unless of course you've triggered the flying UPV glitch. Okay, but to cheer ourselves up, there are a couple of goodies over here. Desert Eagle clips, the best kind of goodie, and I think flares, right? Which we make much better use of than any medpacks, of course. Although I think our luck will definitely run out halfway across the Antarctica level, but we'll see. Maybe not. There are methods. Okay, cool. We don't even need to make a forward jump or anything like that. And this is what I talked about. You need to let go of the monkey swings and re-grab that crawl space over there. And on we go. And you know what? This is so ridiculously dark. I'm gonna light a flare here. And this is where many people break down and cry, because there's a keyhole for which you need the boiler room key, dropped by the guard in the stealth section warehouse, that we cannot really properly get back into via the usual means. Well, I mean, we could still take a UPV and swim with it through the long corridor back into the room, but it's also very difficult to see this key being dropped among those crates, especially since for whatever reason in the remastered version of Tomb Raider 3, the enemy corpses are disappearing. I don't know why, and it just makes me angry. But yeah, this is such a soul-crushing thing to think about that you would find yourself without the boiler key over here. And now we're gonna do what I consider the very scariest part of the level, and we are gonna be on a very, very strict timer. So first things first. Let's grab this thing. Let's catch some fresh air. And let's swim using the UPV like absolute pros. We are gonna go back to the underwater maze. However, it's gonna be a bit different. Just to trick us, because the core era developers were absolute sadists, the layout will have changed in the maze somewhat, removing our air pocket, okay? And what I'd like to do, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull this off, is the air pocket over here that we relied on, gone. The whole thing is flooded. What we want to do, in fact, is go over here, grab the second UPV, unlock the underwater garage achievement, kill the crocodile. There we go, underwater garage is ours. By the way, this isn't the diver we killed. He kind of appeared dead here. Oh my god, stupid thing, can you... Why cannot I fire? Guys, I cannot fire harpoons. Why? I cannot even dismount the... Okay, this is weird. Let's just swim to the corridor. I'll come back for you, crocodile. Oh no, we're gonna drown. This is it. Okay, it seems I triggered some bug. I cannot... What is this nonsense? Well, the good thing is we unlocked the underwater garage. My plan was to grab the second UPV, finish off the crocodile and swim, but for some reason, no matter how much I hammered the action key, Lara would not fire off a single harpoon. Anyway, we got the achievement. Maybe it's a better idea to just save before grabbing the third UPV, unlocking the underwater garage, and then reload and stick to your original UPV, kill the crocodile and swim on. But this should have worked, and it would have been so cool if we pulled it off. But alas, like I told you, I think I even highlighted this back in Old Witch, Lat's Gate is the buggiest level of the game, and it's a bit of a pain point. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna see you back here at this spot. Alrighty, guys. Do you believe in second chances? Please, I ask you for one. So this time, now that we unlock the Underwater Garage achievement, we don't need to bother about the third UPV that spawned next to Dead Diver. Instead, let's immediately go, and let's put it to the test if we can fire off harpoons or not. Yes, we can. Miss Croft, not into the ceiling, into the crocodile, please. Oh my god, I see blood, but somehow the crocodile is alive. We wasted a lot. But cool bit of environmental detail to see them getting stuck in the wall. Let us just ignore the third UPV over there, and let's immediately swim through here with increased speed. And this is where we're really going to put the spiral effect into effect. And try and reach all the way to the top without drowning. You know what? I don't think it really would have been possible to switch to the third UPV and... Oh my god, Lara, now you're getting stuck. This level, it's quite something, isn't it? This is more difficult, honestly, in my opinion, than anything we faced in Nevada or South Pacific. London is just tough as nails. Which is weird, you wouldn't expect it. It's not exactly for a British woman an exotic location, is it? But yeah, there we go. So the final trap, but I'd like to show you a very reliable way to overcome it. The moment this swings away, make sure to roll, hold action. You can grab this ledge like this, climb up. We can roll whilst it's away. Actually, no, we don't need to. Let me instead make a standing grabbing jump like this. And now, again, when it moves out of the way, we can make a running jump. And this way, you'll reliably always dodge him, okay? I think Uzis would be my preferred tool of trade. Nice. Oh, that's it. We should be at this point at 20 kills and we have all crystals, all secrets, all goodies. This is what I'm talking about. Yes. Now, just not to die in this elevator shaft. Again, not many options we have here. Let me see. Oh yeah, we are facing the other side leading into the boiler room where we've been at, right? That's not really helpful. Again, we cannot really jump with here anywhere. I can't believe they used a second elevator shaft fake out. But don't worry, the solution is very near. It's right above. Honestly, this in Tomb Raider 1 and 2 would constitute a secret, but not so in Tomb Raider 3. The way to continue is often more secret than actual secrets, which is absolutely insane. But the good thing is, the hard part is done. All we need to do is make one final jump and not die, okay? And we'll see the sweet statistics and a final cutscene. Okay, there's a very ominous music here. Now I think for this one we need to be perfectly aligned. The best way to do it is to reclimb the ledge you're on, make a roll, and you now have perfect alignment for a running jump setup. Okay. Oh, this is just one of two jumps we'll need to make. Okay. Well, the principle's still the same, but alrighty then. Wasn't all that much darker in the OG. But they did add some artificial light sources, which I really appreciate. And again, I don't want to fail this close to the end, so perfect alignment setup via reclimb. See, all these sorts of lights were added via the remasters to make navigating a little bit easier, whilst maintaining the original dark vision. I think they really striked a pretty good balance. Oh yeah, this is a drop, even though it doesn't look like one. Don't worry, no barbed wire or here something this close to the end. That's something I'd expect from Tomb Raider 3. And now, let's save here, because the moment we somersault, we'll see the final cutscene of the level and an extremely satisfying stat screen. Okay, Lara, are you ready to face Sophia Lee? I hope you are.
Ah, Miss Croft. I take it you're ready to sign on.
To what?
Well, my books. You see, with your lifestyle, you'd be the perfect campaign for my products. Just think, you wouldn't be needing those unsightly weapons anymore.
No, but I'll probably have an unsightly face, judging by your past experiments.
My what?
Oh yes, they're all still alive. Very much so, in fact. All I want is the artifact.
Right. In your next life.
We'll see.
In your next life. And Lara's like, huh, no problem, bitch, I'm ready for you. We love Lara so much. By the way, I love how we were not at all supposed to notice that Sophia Lee is being voiced by Judith Gibbons, just using a higher pitched voice than Lara. It was really cute. And also, if you toggle on the original graphics, you will see both Lara and Sophia have exactly the same head template. Honestly, these classic Tomb Raiders back in the day had one template for male heads and one template for female heads, and that was it, which was pretty damn funny. But guys, this was the scariest level of Tomb Raider 3 so far, and we did it. With a couple of bugs and hiccups here and there, but this is the reality you will face, so hopefully this video will guide you through it and make it a little less scary. We have found all 6 secrets, all 11 crystals, all 59 pickups, landed just humble 20 kills, but we also broke a few breakaway tiles and unlocked the both achievements pertaining to this level for mounting all 3 UPVs, one of them a secret. Also, honestly, the third one just very hard to miss and kind of dangerous to mount without the air pocket. And also, we have unlocked the Silent World, meaning you kill all the divers with a UPV, which if you find the 6th secret, comes kind of naturally to do that rather than a harpoon gun and use that UPV, but just the one and only tricky thing is to kill the very first diver in the stealth section area with the UPV you'll steal from him, not your guns. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful, and you know what, I have some good news for you. You don't have to wait a couple of days for us to wrap up the London chapter of the game, because the next video, City, which is just a dedicated boss fight with Sophia Lee, is already out, so feel free to check it out, but not before you stick around for me to thank my amazing patrons. Blangupel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, Katie Danger, and Buddha2, thank you guys so much for being my loyal Winstons and for treating Lara and myself with a ticket to the London Museum. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winstons, Michael McConkie, Karavetu, Renegade Derny, and Blanket Fox. Thank you guys so much for your support, for helping us negotiate a deal with the leader of the damned, and also for using the embalming fluid to wrap up their rotting flesh with bandages, keeping them moving and sticking around for a while longer. I would also like to give special thanks to both of my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Paviglianiti and Alexander. Thank you guys both so much for your support, and also for today providing us with not 1 but 3 UPVs scattered across the level, making navigation, exploration and slaughtering crocodiles and divers that much easier. And finally, I would like to give one very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your long and generous support of the channel, and also specifically today in Lud's Gate, keeping that hideous sphinx hidden from the rest of the world in an inaccessible section of the London Museum. This way, this hideous Frankenstein will not scare any more children and bring them nightmares. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members as well as to you guys for watching. I do hope you found today's guide useful and not too convoluted. Like I said, if you struggle triggering the UPV glitch, drop me a comment and I'll do my best to describe it. Also, feel free to check out the finale of the London chapter, because the city video is already out. So what are you waiting for? Sophia Lee needs some ass kicking, and that's exactly where I'm gonna see you next.